Can start. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, I have started. Okay.
Good evening,
So
ma'am.
for today's topic, it's Korean history, culture, and tradition, presented by Miss Kazi Aroba Wazi. She is basically a polyglot. She is pursuing honors in Korean from Jamia Millia Islamia University from New Delhi. And also, she is studying Korean and Italian in Umran Green School. So, Miss Kazi, are you ready to present?
Yes. Shall
Yeah,
we begin?
yeah. Please go on, please.
You're not audible.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible.
Yeah. You are
Okay.
not audible now.
So I'm starting now. Hello and welcome
Yeah,
to
ma'am.
one and all to my presentation. Today, myself Kazi Aruba from India. I'm pursuing my graduation in Korean language from Jamia Millia Islamia University, New Delhi. I'm studying Korean level A1 and Italian level A1 in Umran Green School, and I'm really grateful to the faculty members, to Mr. Rajiv and Ma'am Fuzoon, who gave me this opportunity to present myself in front of you all. The topic of my presentation is Korean history, culture, and tradition. Let's start the presentation. So let me show you the table of content. First, we will talk about the emergence of the peninsula. Then we'll go one by one. And we'll surely get some time for clearing your queries. So we'll see them at the end. Till then, stay tuned. We'll begin with the emergence of the peninsula. Korea is located to the west of Japan and it shares a border with the eastern part of China. Originally, Korea was one country, but by the end of the Korean War in 1953, resulted in the two sides separating into the north and to the south. Now, some will say why it was separated. To put it simply, North Korea and South Korea had some serious disagreements that led to the Korean War starting in the first place. Both North and South Koreans speak the same language, but decades of being divided from each other caused separate dialects to emergence, and the way each country spoke the same language began more different. For comparison, you can think of North Korean speech to South Korean speech as being what British English is to American English. People from both countries can understand each other fine, but have their own distinct differences in pronunciation and vocabulary. Korea is on the east Asian country divided since 1948 into the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is commonly known as North Korea, and the Republic of Korea, which is known as the South Korea. The Korean Peninsula has been the storm center of Eastern Asia, surrounded by three of world's greatest nations, Russia, China, and Japan. As a result, they have been an active player in the histories of these countries, particularly in China and Japan. The clash of the cultural, political, and military forces from these and other larger areas have made Korea a strategic zone of contact in Eastern Asia history. Thus, Korea was invaded many times by various states. This had a formative effect on Korean culture and a subtle transformative effect on their conquerors' histories as well. Now we'll see the visiting sites and the heritage sites of Korea. Located on the southern half of the Korean peninsula, South Korea, or the Republic of Korea, is known for its lush green countrysides and its many centuries built Buddhist temples. Through its capital, Seoul is known more of its high tech and is also home to amazing 14th century Gyeongbok Place, which once had more than 70,000 rooms along with a museum and gardens, as well as the quality imposing 15th century Chozong Place. They are famous, the five grand palaces built by the kings of the Chozon dynasty. Do- This is a Chongmon. This is the Chongmon village, a traditional Korean village which is full of narrow alleyway and 6,000 old buildings. Just outside the city of Suwon lies the Hosong Fortress, which was built in 1790s. These are the historical fortresses of Namhanseong, the northern Gyeongsang province, also known as the Gyeongbok, which has the many historic sites such as Bolkaksa Temple on the slopes of Mount Thoham and the Subgram Grotho. This is the historic villages of Hango and Yongdong, preserved traditional villages from the Chozon dynasty. The city of Gyeongju has many royal tombs and palaces from the ancient Silla dynasty. Here you can visit the 17th century Thonggung Place and Walji Pond. This is the Cheongda Observatory in Heavenly Horse Tomb and the ruins of Hyungsa River, and Pohangwa Temple among the other places. Gyeongnam or the South Gyeongnam provinces has the Gyeongsang National Park, which is the home to Himsa Temple, one of the three jewels Buddhist temples in Korea. It is the home of Tripitaka Koreans, the Buddhist sculpture carved into 81,000 wooden printed blocks. In the southern city of Busan, here you can see the mountainside Gyeongsa Temple and the coastal Hyeongdong Temple. We'll move on to our Korean cuisine. Now here you can see the Korean food and beverages. The first one we have is the Samgyeopsal, which is directly translated from Korean, which means the three layer of flesh, referring to the stirration of lean meat and fat in the pork belly that appear as three layers when cut. It is the part of the fifth or the sixth rib of the hind limb. In Korea, the word samgyeopsal is the pork belly, often refers to the samgyeopsal gu, which is grilled pork belly, in the same way that is the word galbi, which is refers to the ribs, and gui refers to the roasted, baked, or the grilled dishes. Next is the tteokbokki. Tteokbokki is a fried rice cake and is popular among Koreans, and it is made from small-sized geretok, which is a long, white, and cylindrical shaped rice, called Thongbok rice cake noodles, or commonly Thongtok or Thongpoki rice cake. Umok is the fish cake, which is made from boiled eggs, and scallions are some common ingredients paired with this dish. It can be seasoned with either spicy chili paste or non-spicy chili paste, but the spicy one is not being most common, but the soy sauce is less common. Next we have is kimbap. Kimbap is also romanized as kimbap and is a Korean dish made from cooked rice and ingredients such as vegetables, fish, meats, and that are rolled in a kim dried sheet of seaweed and served in a bit-sized slices. It's the origin from the Japanese norikami during the colonial time. It has since become the distinct dish kimbap can be easily eaten in bite-sized pieces, so the dish isn't often part of a packed meal or tozrak to be eaten at picnics and outdoor events. It can be served as a light lunch along with kimchi, popular takeout food in South Korea and abroad, and is also known as a convenient food. Convenient food among the Koreans. Next is the thakalpi, which is a spicy stir-fried chicken and is popular Korean dish made by stir-frying marinated diced chicken and a kokju-based sauce with sweet potatoes, cabbage, perilla leaves, scallions, and rice cake, and other ingredients. In Korean, galbi means rib, but dak galbi is not actually chicken's rib. Many dak galbi restaurants have round, hot plates that are built into the tables. Lettuce and perilla leaves are served as spam or the wrap vegetables. This is the kimchi. Kimchi is a staple in Korean cuisine and is a traditional side dish of salted and fermented vegetables such as naba, cabbage, and Korean radish. There are hundreds of varieties of kimchi made with different vegetables as the main ingredient, but traditionally kimchi was stored in a large earthenware fermentation vessel called ongi, often stored in grounds to prevent freezing during the winter months and cool enough to slow down the fermentation process during summers. The vessels are also kept outdoors in special terraces called chongdae in contemporary times.
महविश महविश लाल मिर्चा का डब्बा दो तो कितना है
Next, we have Arirang. Arirang is a popular Korean form of folk dance and the outcome of collective contributions made by ordinary Koreans throughout generations. Essentially a simple song, it consists of refrain Arirang, Arirang, Arirayo, and two simple lines which differ from region to region. While dealing with diverse universal themes, the simple musical and literary compositions invite improvisation, imitation, and singing in unison, encouraging its acceptance by different musical genres. Experts estimate the total number of folk songs carrying the title Arirang at the 3,600 variations, belonging to about 60 versions. A great virtue of Arirang as its respect for human creativity, freedom of expression, and empathy. Everyone can create new lyrics adding to the song, regional, historical, and genre versions, and cultural diversity. Now I will show you an Arirang.
저 멀리 동해바다 외로운 섬 오늘도 고생바람 불어오겠지
우리 탈북 청년들은 독도와 정체성이 비슷합니다. 독도가 지리적으로 한반도에서 멀리 떨어져 동해 바다에 홀로 서 있지만 독도는 남한 사람, 북한 사람 모두가 사랑하는 우리의 땅입니다. 그렇기에 독도는 남과 북을 잇는 징검다리인 셈입니다. 독도와 마찬가지로 탈북 청년들을 희망의 눈으로 바라보고 응원해 준다면 북한도 경험하고 남한도 경험한 우리 탈북 청년들은 통일시대에 남한과 북한 지역을 이어주는 통일의 징검다리가 될 것입니다. 통일을 향한 길에서 우리 탈북 청년들이 앞장서겠습니다. 통일을 위해 우리 모두 함께 나아갑시다.
This was the Arirang, which is a folk song of Korea, and it is the most celebrated song. Now we'll move on to the Korean beauty standards and cosmetics. Korean beauty standards and cosmetics have become a well-known feature of Korean culture. In 2015, a global survey by the International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons found that South Korea was the only East Asian country among the top 10 countries with the highest rate of cosmetic surgeries. Korean beauty standards prioritize a slim figure, small face, V-shaped jaw, pale skin, straight eyebrows, flawless skin, and larger eyes. Beauty standards of the eyes include a gyeosal, which is a term used in Korea referring to the small fatty deposits underneath the eyes that are said to give a person a more youthful appearance. East Asian blepharoplasty is a surgery to create double eyelids or to create an upper eyelid with a crease. Aegosal and blepharoplasty makes the eye appear larger. Korean beauty standards have been influenced largely by those in the media, including the actresses, TV personalities, and K-pop stars. The physical appearance of K-pop idols greatly impacted the beauty standards in Korea. Here you can see how they differentiate between the East and the West. K-pop, short for Korean popular music, is a genre of music originating in South Korea as a part of South Korean culture. It is influenced by styles and genres from around the world, such as pop experimental, rock, jazz, gospel, hip-hop, R&B, electronic dance, folk, country, and classical on the top of its traditional music roots. The most modern form of the genre emerged with the formalities of one of the earliest K-pop group, the boy band Seo Taiji and Boy in 1992. This experimentation with different styles and genres of music and integration of foreign musical elements helped reshape and modernize South Korea's contemporary music scene. This is the poster from the 90s, and we have some posters from this is the Blackpink. These are the 4 members of Blackpink. Next we have the BTS. This is the EXO group. This is the 101, which has 14 members. This is the PS Star. Let's move on to the Hanbok. Hanbok or Choson-ot is the traditional Korean clothes. The term Hanbok literally means Korean clothing. It was established as a part of the unique living culture of Korea, influenced by the geographical and climatic nature of Korea, and handed down throughout the years to present times. It was first introduced in 11th century BC to 7th century AD. It includes the significant influences from Manchuria and various Chinese dynasties. These are the man-woman hanbok. Now we'll talk about the seasons in Korea. There are only minimal regional variations throughout the country, and the year divides neatly into the 4 distinct seasons. This is the delightful spring, which is from April to August, April to June. Next, we have a muggy and a wet summer, which is from July to August. Then we have a refreshing autumn from September to November, and a freezing, cold, snowy, but dry winters from December to March. This is the very important and the most interesting topic we have, The Lamp of the East. This is a poem written by Rabindranath Tagore for the Koreans, and he is the most respected person in South Korea. Though South Korea and India established consular relations in 1962 and upgraded ambassador level ties in 1973, the cultural connection shared by the two countries is much older. In the early 20th century, Indian Nobel laureate Mr. Rabindranath Tagore wrote a few lines, but that lines reached the masses and generations and marked the beginning of a long-standing association between South Korea and India. He wrote this small poem, The Lamp of the East. The words are, in the golden age of Asia, Korea was one of its lamp bearers, and that lamp is waiting to be lighted once again. for the illumination of the East. Tagore's poems link Korea's historic legacy to its future as the illumination of the East. It all began in 1916 when Rabindranath Tagore visited Japan for the first time. During his visit, he met many Korean students at the country's universities and got introduced to the uniqueness of their culture. In the early years of 20th century, Japan had occupied Korea and they were facing cultural annihilation. Tagore used his visit as a platform to raise the issue among the public. In the cities he visited, he spoke about Japan's access in front of the crowds. These are the portraits of the newspaper cutting. The first we have the Rabindranath Tagore's statue, which is in the embassy, India-Korean embassy in Delhi. Next is the newspaper cutting, which was published in South Korea. And this is a stone carved his poem in South Korea. Tagore inspired many writers from this part of the East, so his influence is found in Korean literature too. Let me show you the glimpse of the South Korea, then we'll end up. Thank you everyone for your valuable time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kazi. Is there any question, comments from the audience? Please share your opinions also. Anything you'd like to add or comment on her presentation?